Welcome everyone to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here because today we're tackling a massive goal for so many of you, speaking English fluently, confidently, and naturally. Now, we aren't just going to sit around and talk about theory. No way. We're going to actively dive into a highly effective interactive method to train your brain and your mouth to speak English fluently. The source material we're looking at today breaks down a technique called the Make It Happen method, and it is all about moving from passive listening to active, dynamic speaking.
So let's take a quick look at our roadmap to fluency today. We'll start with part 1, the real-life conversation. Then we'll move into part 2, essential vocabulary. After that, we'll hit part 3, listen and repeat practice. Then we'll explore part 4, the art of shadowing. And finally, we'll master part 5, answering out loud.
All right, let's jump straight into part 1, the real-life conversation. But first, I've got to ask you right out of the gate, are you ready to train your brain to speak English fluently? Because let me tell you, fluency isn't just about memorizing a dictionary. It's a physical and mental training process. You really have to be actively engaged to get the most out of this. So lock in and let's look at the dialogue we're going to use as our training ground today.
Let's set the stage with our baseline scenario. We've got a conversation between two friends, Liam and Sarah. Liam asks Sarah if she's heading to the park, and she replies, "Yes, I'm training for a 5K race next month." The context here is super important. She admits she's tired, and running every single day isn't easy, but she's highly motivated by her goal to finish that race strong. Having a real-life narrative like this helps anchor the language in reality.
And then, the conversation concludes with this fantastic exchange. Sarah says, "I just need to stay focused and make it happen." And Liam is instantly supportive, replying, "I believe you will. Maybe I can join you tomorrow." This perfectly highlights not just everyday vocabulary, but the totally natural way native speakers express support and make joint decisions to tackle a goal together.
Moving right along to section 2, essential English vocabulary.
Okay, take the word schedule. It's basically a plan showing what you'll do and when you'll do it. In our dialogue, Sarah doesn't just run randomly, right? She tells Liam she follows a simple schedule, running a little more each week. It's the whole structure behind her goal, and it's an incredibly common word you'll use constantly in both professional and personal English.
Now, this next one is super relatable. What if? We use this to talk about a possible problem or a situation. Liam uses it to ask Sarah a question we all ask ourselves. What if you feel like stopping? We all face that exact problem when working towards a big goal, don't we? It's a perfect example of how a tiny two-word phrase can set up a completely complex hypothetical scenario in conversation.
And that brings us to the star of the show, our core phrase, make it happen. This literally means taking action so your plan becomes real. You use this when someone, exactly like Sarah, really wants to win or achieve something and takes direct, deliberate action to realize her goal. It's such an empowering idiom, and native speakers use it all the time to express sheer determination. All right, on to section 3, listen and repeat practice. So how do we actually practice this effectively? Well, the source material suggests contrasting two distinct phases, speaking slowly versus speaking at normal speed. It's like learning a dance. Hearing the sentence slowly first allows you to catch every single nuance, every vowel sound, every consonant finish. Then, once your brain has completely mapped the sounds, you speed up to match that normal conversational pace.
While you're doing this listen and repeat exercise, I want you to keep 4 golden rules in mind. First, copy the pronunciation. Second, match the rhythm and intonation. Third, speak out loud. Whispering definitely doesn't train the muscles in your mouth. And fourth, arguably the most important, don't worry about being perfect. Seriously, making mistakes is completely fine. The more you repeat these steps, the more natural and confident your spoken English will sound. Just get out there and speak.
This brings us to section 4, the art of shadowing. Now, shadowing, this is incredibly interactive technique designed to improve your natural flow. It's a simple back and forth process. Step 1, listen carefully to one speaker's line. Step 2, say that exact line out loud. Step 3, read the other speaker's line yourself. You're literally taking turns playing both parts. And remember, if it ever feels like it's moving way too fast, you can always pause or slow down the audio. You are completely in control of the pace here.
Let's see what this actually looks like in action. Imagine you hear Liam say, "That sounds smart, but what if you feel like stopping?" You listen and then you say it. Then you step right into Sarah's shoes and read her reply yourself. Sometimes I do, but then I remind myself why I started. See what we're doing? You're simulating a real conversation, practicing the natural timing and the emotional delivery of both sides.
Finally, we hit Section 5, answering out loud.
Okay, let's put this to the test right now. Is Sarah training for a dance competition? Now, to answer this, your brain has to work fast. It has to recall the dialogue, process the incorrect information in the question, and generate the right answer, literally all in a split second.
No, she isn't training for a dance competition. She is training for a 5K race. And when you practice this, I want you to say it loud and proud. And look, if you were unsure or got it wrong, that is totally okay. You can just listen to the correct answer and repeat it. The whole goal here is to build that reflex of answering out loud.
Let's try one more example. This one's a little trickier. From the source material, what does she do when she feels like stopping? Now, this requires a bit more conversational recall than a simple yes or no, right? It asks you to remember Sarah's deep internal motivation.
And boom, the answer is, she reminds herself of why she started. By answering this specific question, you aren't just practicing complete sentence structure, you are actively vocalizing and reinforcing a highly motivating concept in English. You're bridging the gap between emotion, meaning, and vocabulary. So that brings this whole explainer full circle, right back to our empowering core phrase, make it happen. Because, fluency doesn't just magically happen by accident. It requires you to set a schedule, overcome those nagging what-ifs, and put in the active practice of shadowing and speaking out loud. Watching, repeating, and taking turns often is exactly how you're going to achieve that fluency.
Which leaves us with one final, absolutely crucial question for you to ponder. How will you stay focused and make your English fluency happen today? Will you go back and shadow a conversation? Will you practice answering out loud? The tools are literally right here in front of you. Take action, keep practicing, and go make it happen.